I chose this topic of the lionfish, which is an invasive species, because I don't know very much about it or why it's harmful to our environment. I'm interested in it because it looks unique, and I'm curious of how the species impacts me. Lionfish are native to South Pacific and Indian Oceans, but are globally affecting the Atlantic Ocean and the Florida shores. Locally, the lionfish aren't impacting us or anywhere else in Missouri. This specifically is a point source, although the exact cause is unknown. But experts believe that people have been dumping their unwanted lionfish from home aquariums into the Atlantic Ocean for up to 25 years. Since lionfish aren't native to the Atlantic waters, they have very few predators, causing harm to coral reefs, seagrasses, and other native species. This is a data table showing the effect of the year on the number of lionfish reports. The data explains how, as the years progress, the number of lionfish reports increase. This basically just means that the lionfish population is increasing over time. This is a graph based on the same information as the data table, showing a visual of how the number of lionfish reports increased over time. Lionfish can have a big effect on the biodiversity of plants and animals. So for plants, lionfish eat herbivores, and herbivores eat algae from coral reefs. Without herbivores, algal growth goes unchecked, which can be detrimental to the health of coral reefs. And for animals, in the Caribbean, their feeding preferences have caused them to be in direct competition for limited sources with other animals. And lionfish can alter habitats and cause danger to marine life. They also have an effect on humans because they have a highly venomous sting, which is very dangerous to us, and it makes it risky to swim in some parts of the ocean because of it. This is also why they have very few predators. Lionfish have an effect on the phosphate cycle because aquatic plants like seagrasses first take up the water which contains phosphorus, then it travels up through the stages of the aquatic food chain. Since the lionfish are disrupting the food chain, then they have an indirect effect on the phosphate cycle. This invasive species also has an effect on the carbon cycle because carbon dioxide is removed from the atmosphere by plants like algae through photosynthesis. So since lionfish are affecting the algae, lionfish then have an indirect effect on the carbon cycle. Scientists have agreed that invasive lionfish are here to stay and nothing can be done to completely eliminate them from the invaded region. However, a lot can be done and a lot has been done to minimize their impacts. Lionfish removals through derbies and tournaments have shown to be highly effective at reducing their abundance. Also, setting up traps and ordering lionfish off the menu can always help. Although this is helpful and slows down the population growth, it doesn't keep the lionfish from spreading, so something else needs to be done. Nothing is going to extinct them forever, but we can help slow down the population increase. In 2017, scientists released the first robot to hunt and capture lionfish. It's called the Guardian Robot, but nicknamed Lionfish Zapper. Right now, the Zapper has to be controlled by a pilot using a PlayStation controller. The Zapper can capture about 10 fish before having to resurface. My solution is to fundraise enough money to make technology that doesn't need a pilot to control it, somehow recognizes the lionfish on its own, and is able to hold more lionfish than just 10. It will cause a tremendous decrease in the population and dangers it causes to our environment. Some of the negative impacts of the solution may be that before the technology is fully capable of distinguishing the lionfish from the other animals, it may cause harm to other species. Also, the time it will take to raise all the money and understand the technology and the overall cost of it all to develop. Some positive impacts of this solution include slowing down the spread of the invasion, obviously, and the technology will be reliable if the right amount of money is put into it. And once it's developed, it will be time efficient when mass producing the technology. The cost of this technology would be very expensive, but it would be safe and reliable because of it. How it looks was not going to be a big concern because it was going to be in the middle of the ocean and the only people seeing it would be divers. This will take some time getting the money and understanding the technology, but after that, the technology will be made fast and efficiently. The first step of the action plan would be to inform family and friends about invasive lionfish and their dangers. Next, I would spread the word throughout my community and let everybody know how it affects them. Then I would ask people to donate to help develop the technology for controlling the lionfish population. After that, once enough money is raised, and then I would ask an expert to help find a way to make the technology so it was self-piloted and more efficient. Lastly, I would mass produce a lionfish zapper and spread it across the invaded region, hoping that it would decrease the population.